Hi everybody, this is Crystal. Now today I'm going to show you how to make this wrap here. There's the stitch pattern, and it's actually really easy to do. It's just like, it's a simple 2-row repeat. It might look difficult. It's not. It's a little lacy and it's really lightweight. Now you can make yours wider if you want. That's completely up to you. You can make it as big as you want, but it's really nice summer wrap. It's quite large. It's probably about, I'd say, 5 foot long, 18 inches wide, but you know, it's easily adjustable just by changing the multiple. Just wanted though to remind you not to forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. And when you subscribe, if you hit that little bell next to the subscribe button, you'll always get my tutorials, and you know, you'll never miss an update when I do a giveaway or shopping videos or reviews or tutorials or anything like that. So I'd really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Okay, for this project I'm using a Red Heart It's a Wrap Rainbow. So special thanks to Red Heart for providing today's yarn for me. This is labeled as a superfine number 1. It is misprinted on this label. It is actually a number 2 weight. So to clear up any confusion, it is a number 2. This was a misprint in the factory. It's a number 2, not a number 1. And it is an acrylic cotton blend, I believe. I'll find it here. Yes, 55 acrylic, 45 cotton. It's super light, super airy. The color change is magnificent. It's very, very pretty, the way the colors subtly change. And then I'm going to be using a size H, which is a 5mm crochet hook. Now I used 1 cake for mine, and I still have some left. I could do probably 3 or 4 more rows on my wrap if I wanted to with what's left. So if you want to do more than what I do, you know, you can. 1 cake will probably be plenty to make a nice shawl. Okay, this stitch is done in a multiple of 10 plus 2. In case you want to make yours bigger or smaller, or use this stitch for something else. 10 plus 2. So if you want to follow me, I started out with a chain of 202 stitches. I'm going to show you on a smaller scale since I've already got my big piece done. So once you get your chain of 202 made, you want to single crochet in the 2nd stitch from the hook. Okay, now this starts our repeat, that single crochet. We want to chain 3, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, single crochet into the next. Then you want to chain 3, skip 1 stitch, single crochet into the next, chain 3, skip 3 again, 1, 2, 3, so skip, 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 single into the next. And now what we want to do is just repeat what we just did, starting with this chain 3 way back here. So we need to chain 3 again, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, single into the next, chain 3, skip 1, single into the next, chain 3, skip 3, single into the next, and then we repeat it again. chain 3, skip 3, single into the next, chain 3, skip 1, single into the next, and then it's chain 3, skip 3, single into the next, and then you just keep repeating that until you get to the end of your row. Okay, when you make it to the end of row 1, you should have 60 chain 3 spaces. So 60 total. Okay, for row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And we're going to single crochet right back into that very first single crochet. And then we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to skip this first chain space and we're going to be working in this chain space here, the little smaller chain space. Do a double crochet 2 together into that space. So we yarn over, go into that space and draw up a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Now we want to do that one more time. Yarn over, go into that same chain space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, and you'll have 3 loops that remain. Yarn over and go through all 3. So that is a double crochet 2 together. And then we're going to chain 3. We need to have 5 of these double crochet 2 togethers in this chain space with chain 3s in between them. So again, I'm going to yarn over and go into that same chain space and draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. I'm going to yarn over and go into the same chain space again, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, 3 loops remain, yarn over and go through all 3. So there's 2 double crochet 2s together, and now we're going to chain 3. Again, yarn over, go into that same chain space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, go through, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, 3 loops remain, yarn over, go through all 3, chain 3. So there's 3 double crochet 2s together. Again, we're going to yarn over, go into the same chain space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over again, same chain space, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, 3 loops remain, yarn over, go through all 3, chain 3. So we got 4 there, 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to do 1 more. Like that. Now after this 5th one, we're only going to do a chain of 1. Like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is skip this chain space and we're going to single crochet into this single crochet right here. And then we're going to chain 1. We're going to skip the next chain space, and right here in this smaller little chain space, we're going to work at this shell over here again, where we did all the double crochet 2s together. So we're going to yarn over, go into the space, and do our first double crochet 2 together. And then we're going to chain 3. Remember, we need to have 5 of those. So that was 1. There's 2. There's 3. And we got 4. And we need 1 more. And remember, after that 5th one, we don't chain 3. We just do a chain of 1. And then we skip the next chain space and we single crochet right here into this single crochet. Like that. And then we chain 1, skip the next single crochet, or next chain space, I'm sorry. Skip this chain space. And in the next chain space here, the smaller one, we're going to do another one of these shells. So we're just going to keep repeating this pattern until we get all the way to the end of row 2. And this is what it starts to look like. Okay, when you make it to the end, what you want to do, make sure you chain 1 after your 5th double crochet 2 together. Skip this chain space, and we're just gonna single crochet in this single crochet right here on the end. So just do 1 single crochet into that. Like that. And you should have 20 of these shell stitches now into row 2. Okay, now for row 3, we're going to chain 7. And turn our work. Now that chain 7 counts as a triple crochet and a chain 3. So what we're going to do is skip this first chain space here and single crochet into the next. Just right through the space. And then we're going to chain 3 and single crochet into the next chain space. Chain 3 and skip this chain space, and we're going to triple crochet into this single crochet down here. So we yarn over twice, go right into that single and triple crochet, just like that. So what we're doing now is we're creating chain spaces that we can keep doing our shells on for the next row. So we're going to repeat that. We're going to chain 3. Oops. Got to make sure you get all 4 pieces of that string through. Chain 3. Skip the first chain space here of the shell. Single crochet into the next. Chain 3. Single crochet into the next chain space of the shell. Chain 3. Skip this last chain space of the shell and triple crochet down here into this single crochet. Like that. Now we're going to repeat. We're going to chain 3 again. Skip the first chain space of the first shell, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet in the next chain space, chain 3, and then you would skip the next chain space of the shell and triple crochet into the next single crochet. And you want to repeat that all the way across until you get to the end of row 3. Okay, once you make it to the end of row 3, I chained 3 after my last single crochet here. Now I want to do a triple crochet way down here into the single crochet on the end. Or right around there somewhere. It doesn't have to be exact, but kind of try to get in that single crochet and do a triple. Just like that. So that's what it starts to look like. Okay, so row 4, we're going to chain 1, turn our work. Now we're going to single crochet right here into this first stitch. And then chain 1. Now we're going to do our shell right here into this chain 3 space. So we do our double crochet, 2 together with chain 3s in between them, 5 times. Oops. It's 3. It's 4. And 5, and then we chain 1 after that 5th one. And now we're going to come right over and single crochet on top of this triple crochet. Chain 1 and repeat. Skip this right here and jump right over here to this chain 3 space that's in the top of this shell and do another shell. One, 2, 3. One more. Chain 1 after that 5th one. And then skip this space and we're going to single crochet all the way over here in the top of this triple crochet. Chain 1 and repeat. Jump over here to this chain 3 space in the middle of this next shell here and shell again, and you want to repeat that all the way to the end of the row. And see, you want to make sure you get all 4 pieces of string through, or that's what happens. See, I missed that and it kind of bubbles up, so you don't want that to happen. But this is just a practice swatch, so I'm not going to worry about it, but you don't want that to happen. If you see that, pull it out and try to fix it. So repeat that until you get to the end of row 4. Okay, once you make it to the end, after you single crochet after your 5th shell there, what you want to do is single crochet in the 4th chain of this chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, go into that 4th chain and single crochet. And that'll end row 4, and you still should have 20 shells. You should always have 20 shells. So now what we're going to do is just kind of repeat those last 2 rows. So we'll start again by chaining 7. And that is a triple crochet and a chain 3. Now we're doing the row that makes the chain spaces so we can do our shells for the next row. So we skip this first one and single crochet into the next, chain 3, single crochet into the next, chain 3, skip this last chain space of the shell and triple crochet way down here on this single crochet. Like that. Repeat it. Chain 3, just like we did before. Skip this first chain space, single into the next, chain 3, single into the next, chain 3, skip this chain space and triple right here in the top of this single crochet down here. And you just want to repeat that until you get to the end of the row. Okay, when you make it to the end of row 5, I just did my chain 3 after my last single crochet, and we want to triple into this single crochet down here on the end. Just like that. So we kind of just want to keep repeating rows 4 and 5. So that was row 5 we just did. So now we'll start row 4, which is the shell row, where we chain 1 and turn, single crochet into the first stitch, chain 1, skip this chain space and shell into this chain space, and then you would single crochet on top of this triple, chain 1, shell right here into this chain space on top of this shell. So just keep repeating rows 4 and 5. So all it is doing a row of shells and then a row of chains and triples to make the spots for the shells for the next row. You should always have 20 shells at the end of every row. And I did 14 rows and I tied off. You can do your whole cake if you want. I had to save a little bit at the end to show you how to make it, but you can do as many rows as you want. And as you can see, the shells always stay lined up on top of each other. So once you get to going, it's actually really easy. It's just those 2 rows, the shell row and then the row of triple crochet and chain spaces. That makes a chain space to put the next shell. So the shells are just made right on top of each other. So it's actually, I think you'll be able to do it. The collars turned out really nice. Once you're done, you can just get it as big as you want. You just tie off and hide your tails, and that is it. That's all there is to it. I hope you were able to follow along okay. If you make this or anything else, you can always post a picture on my Bag a Day Crochet Facebook page. I'll put a link to that below in the description box. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Check out all my other tutorials. I have hundreds of them. And don't forget to check out redheart.com, where you'll find thousands of free crochet and knitting patterns for you to enjoy. And until next time, have a good day.